Sunday stuff. We had somebody test positive, even though I've tested negative 3 times a week since then. We're just going to be cautious. I'm going to move over to the radio side today, tomorrow, yesterday. Joy Taylor, how are you?
I'm great. That was a great game last night. Not quite the ending Tom Brady was looking for. But.
No, yeah. It's interesting. So, Joy, I think you and I are alike in this regard. And it's just, is it DNA? Is it parenting? I don't know. I'm not a stubborn guy. Like, if something doesn't work, I move off it. Because losing's embarrassing. Nobody likes to lose. In sports, in life, nobody likes to lose. So I don't really get stubborn people that go back to the same old thing when it doesn't work. Is it ego? Is it? I don't know what it is. I don't have it in me. I can't explain stuff that I don't embrace. And so stubborn guy, I don't get. I never have. Politically, I'd vote either side. Candidates bad. I'm not in Cub Scouts. I don't wear a hat and a uniform. I'm not 12 years old. I'll go to the other side. If something's not working, I'll go to the other side. I own me. You don't own me. I'm always trying to be flexible because I want to win. Last night, Sean McVay, flexible coach. Bruce Arians, inflexible coach. I'll give you an example. So it wasn't a perfect night for the Rams. They went on the road. They could not run the football, and they forced their young quarterback to throw 51 times. That is not ideal in the NFL. On the road, good defense, throw it 51 times, you have no running game. But Sean McVay does something Arians doesn't. Number one, McVay always moves the pocket. What's it do? It keeps the defense on their toes. He has a lot of motion and deception. Slows down the defense, keeps them on their toes. And if the running game's not working and the protection's suboptimal, they have a lot of safety valves and dump-off plays. Bruce Arians, let's do more deep balls. 66 plays by Tampa, 6 had motion. I mean, at some point, Bruce Arians, look around the league. Put guys in motion. Be deceptive. I know you can't roll the pocket with Brady. But you didn't roll it much with Jameis Winston, who's much more athletic than Brady. 66 plays, 6 were in motion. And I watched that game last night, and my take was that was a coaching mismatch. Tom Brady was 1 for 9 with 2 picks on throws over 15 yards. That's not what works for Tom Brady. That's never been what works for Tom Brady. Tom Brady likes to control with highly efficient, high percentage throws. Bruce Arians lives on throw it up in the air. And by the way, Tampa came into the game missing their best offensive lineman. So you know you're probably, and facing Aaron Donald, knowing you're probably going to get less time to throw. And by the way, there were the makings of a bad game for the Rams. They couldn't run the football. They're on the road. It's Monday Night Football. You're facing the GOAT and a good defense, and you ask Goff to throw 51 times. But there were 2 head coaches. One had safety valves. Cooper Kupp, 11 catches. Like, I just thought it was a coaching mismatch. Now, it should be noted, Tampa's 7-4. They're 11 weeks in. I went this morning and checked. I predicted they would be a wild card team and go 10-6. So if you look at their schedule, they look like they're actually going to go 11-5. But what would concern me if you're Tampa, if you look at the NFC playoff picture right now, it's a bunch of smart offensive coaches. It's Sean Payton. It's Cliff Kingsbury. It is Sean McVay. It is Matt LaFleur. These guys are much more motion, much more deception, much more roll the pocket. It's very much a 2020 NFL game. And you can blame Tom Brady for all these interceptions, but I went and looked this up this morning. The 3 previous jobs Bruce Arians had, the starting quarterback had a career high in interceptions. Jameis Winston had 30, Carson Palmer 22, and Andrew Luck 18. And Tom Brady's on pace to have 50 in a career high. So that would be 4 straight quarterbacks who have their career high in interceptions. I'm over no biscuit, no risk it. I'm over it. Like it's low percentage throws that did not describe the New England dynasty. It was high percentage throws. McVay, high percentage throws. Lower percentage throws equals less efficient, equals less consistent. If you start looking at what Tampa Bay is right now, You don't know. Every week it changes. Why? Because they run so many low percentage offensive plays, and so much of it is dependent on protection and who your opponent is. So it's again, you can blame Brady for all the picks, but Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, Jameis Winston, and Brady are all going to have career highs in picks with Bruce Arians. And I watched McVay. He moves the pocket. He's got a lot of motion. There's constant deception. It keeps the defense on their heels. And if it breaks down for Goff, if the protection breaks down, he's got safety valves. Here's Arians after the loss.
I thought he called a good ball game. We got to execute better. You know, when guys are open, we got to hit them, and we can't misread coverage. We got to protect a little bit better when we do have guys deep, and let him hit that guy. Instead of have that pressure that costs us an interception.
Maybe it's not always the pressure that causes the interception. So I was looking at the standings this morning, and, we're 10, 11 weeks in. And this is about the time we all kind of know who's really good and who's really bad. And there's a bunch of stuff in the middle that'll sort itself out. But I think there's an understanding in the AFC that Kansas City and the Steelers are the best two teams. And I would not deny that. I think Pittsburgh wishes they could run the football more consistently. But if you look at the AFC playoff picture, I don't think anybody denies this. The Steelers and the Chiefs are the two best teams. But when you go over to the NFC playoff picture, the people go, there's a lot of Packers, the Eagles. No. I think we now know who the two best teams are, the Saints and the Rams. And I say that because when I watched the Rams last night, everybody in the NFC right now, there's an issue. Seattle, no pass rush, struggles in the secondary. Green Bay doesn't play well when it's physical football. Tampa Bay, old school head coach. It's a lot about the matchups, inconsistent week to week. Arizona, young, but still feels like they're a draft away from competing defensively. Philadelphia, Giants, don't waste my time. The Rams and the Saints are the only two teams in the NFC like the Steelers and the Chiefs. What's their hole? Both have good special teams. Both have a pass rush. Both have good secondaries. Both have coaches who have gotten to a Super Bowl. I don't have a coaching issue. I don't have a defense issue. I don't have a back-end secondary issue. I don't have a special team issue. Both have above-average offensive lines. Both can run the football on most Sundays, and if they can't, they can throw the football. The knock on the Saints is they don't throw it down the field much. All right, but they went 13-3, 13-3 the last 2 years, and they're now 6-0 with backup quarterbacks. It's not killing them. And the Rams, when Goff doesn't get great protection, he got pretty good protection last night, he can struggle. Welcome to the NFL. That was true of Brady and Peyton Manning in their prime. When I look at the Rams and the Saints and the Chiefs and the Steelers, I don't see a hole. Again, I wish Pittsburgh could run the football more consistently. I wish Andrew Whitworth was healthy at left tackle, and Goff does need to be comfortable. He was last night. The Saints don't throw it downfield as well as I'd like. In Kansas City, they fall into traps a lot, falling behind, but the good news is they can always catch up. I mean, they've all got something they could be better at. But you start looking at the other teams, like Green Bay. They can't play physical football. Seattle, they can't stop anybody. Baltimore doesn't play well from behind. I think we have a Final Four. I think we know who the four best teams in the NFL are right now. And it takes a while to figure it out. And I think most of you agree with the first three, and a lot of you disagree with the Rams because the Rams aren't a real popular historic franchise. They weren't popular in St. Louis. I mean, they're the second or third most popular team in Los Angeles, and that's saying something as an NFL franchise. But I got to tell you something. They draft incredibly well. The receiving core, the coach, the O-line, tight ends, running back, secondary. Their linebacking core is okay. Everything else, they're good. They can match up with anybody. They're good. That's what I see. Coming up next, Trent Dilfer doesn't hammer many people on my show, but he did yesterday. And he brings up a point about how you coach and how we should coach, but you got to be careful. The NFL's not the NBA, but how hard can you coach somebody? That and the herd hierarchy, top of next hour, and Nick Wright, too. Folks, you've heard me talk about Tecovas boots since about January or December of last year. I talk about the boots. I talk about the bags, the company based in Austin, Texas. How about this holiday season, give the gift